Hi, welcome to my PowerPoint. The topic and question that I have chosen for my final paper is what are the advantages and disadvantages to computerized assessment? I am concerned about computer-based testing because in my school we have online high-stakes mathematics testing, and it's at the forefront. Our school is judged by its Minnesota Comprehensive Assessment MCA math scores, and we're at the bottom of our district. There are 4 middle schools in our district, and our scores at my school are generally the lowest. So just the whole computer-based testing, how does that work, what does it look like, is important. I have found research in several places and looked to find some more. The Gronlund text was really helpful. Education Week, Educational and Psychological Measurement, Educational Leadership, Journal of Research on Computing in Education, and School Psychology Review were all good for me. There are 2 types of computerized testing. There's the computer-based testing and computerized adaptive testing, and there are some differences between those. The computer-based testing just administers items similar to a paper-pencil test. So for me, that would be the MCA test. There is a paper copy and a computer-based copy, and the questions are pretty similar. A computerized adaptive testing, that is more like the NWEA for us. It administers items based on the response to a previous question, and then it finds the level that the students are at. So it gives them just a question at their level where they should be, and if they get it right, it goes harder. If they get it wrong, it goes easier, and then it just kind of levels out and finds their basic level where they level. Advantages of computer-based testing. Turnaround time. You have your scores possibly immediately. For us, the longest it's taken me to get my computerized MCA scores is a day. It also tailors the test to individual students. For example, students can have the test read to them by the computer. Well, this is not possible. You have to have special people to do that, and not every student can do that with the print version. But on the computerized test, it will read it to everybody, at least mathematically. There's the ability to use higher order questioning. For the math test, it's not just the answer is A, B, C, D. They have some drag and drop things. A probability question, you actually have to move chips into place. You can do algebra chips on there that they'll ask in the test. It's quite amazing. Lower cost. You don't have all the printing, and so while the initial cost of making sure you have all the computers, you don't have the printing cost after that, so it saves money in the long run. And then there's some flexibility in the window of time that it can be taken. Disadvantages of computer-based testing. Computer lab space. If there's not enough computer lab space, you can't do the testing. And technology glitches. We've had, during the MCA, the whole system shut down because too many people were taking the test. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but there was this huge glitch. Pardon me. Advantages of computerized adaptive testing. Well, the test questions determine individual performance level, which is really nice, and it enhances the efficiency and accuracy of finding performance levels. However, a disadvantage of computerized adaptive testing is if I'm looking to test at a 7th grade level, this goes up or down, but it doesn't necessarily just test if they have mastered all of the 7th grade level content. Some interesting research that I found. In some studies, this was a 2007 study, well, 25 years prior to that. I think it might be 2003. I have to go back and check my information. But the impact of the mode of administering tests, the findings just weren't consistent. Some studies showed that they were comparable, computer-based were comparable to paper-pencil tests, but some said you just can't interchange them. So more studies being done, and I'm interested to look in. Also, according to an article in Educational Leadership, there have been 2 Common Core Assessment consortia, and they've been funded through grants from the U.S. government. They chose the government chose to do two so that people didn't say, hey, you're making us go this way, you're making a national curriculum, so on and so forth. The first one is the Partnership for the Assessment of Readiness for College and Careers, or PARC. And then the other one is called Smarter Balanced Assessment Consortium, or Smarter Balanced. PARC is coming up with a two-part summative assessment. Part of it is performance-based, which doesn't necessarily fit into my topic, but the other part is a computer-based end-of-the-year assessment that will be offered grades 3 through 8, just like our MCAs are now, and then another test that's Algebra 1, 2, and Geometry, or they have one called Math 1, Math 2, Math 3, which kind of puts all those things together, but it might be for the people who integrate it kind of in a different way than just in those 3 classes. So that's computer-based, which just says, here are the questions that we have. All of the kids will get it from this bank. Smarter Balanced is going at it a little bit differently. They've still got 2 summative components, the performance-based assessment, but their end-of-the-year assessment is the one where it takes and finds their level, so it's an adaptive one. Now, both of these, one thing that I really like about both the PARCs and the Smarter Balance is that they would be at the end of the year, like the last few weeks of school, which would be so helpful. At this point in time, personally, we're taking our MCAs at the beginning of May. Well, I guess maybe that's towards the end of the year, but a week or 2, even more of teaching time would be so helpful. So those are the things I'm milling around for my research project, and I'll show you some of the resources that I've come up with so far if you're interested in looking because you're doing something similar. So here they are. I have 5 sources right now. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great night.